is a black spot goatfish, one of my favourite eating fish where I dive, and today we're making goatfish croquettes. But first, we got to get ourselves a fish. Now, I love practicing my hunting with these guys. They're super chill until you spook them, and when you do, they will run and you probably won't see them again. So you want to make a real slow descent down to the bottom. Minimal movements, very slow, relaxed and calm. And then when you see them, just slowly start making your way over, reaching that gun out. Maybe a little too quick there. Take your time and you can get a beautiful shot like this straight through the eyes to secure your fish. Stunning colors, beautiful fish. See, we got another nice approach, very slow, very calm, creeping over this rock here, and you can see the fish coming in towards me. Very, very curious fish. The only thing with these guys is their flesh is quite soft, so you want to make that approach as calm and relaxed as possible to give yourself time to make a good shot. I was lucky enough to quickly reload my gun here and follow this guy from the surface. Again, just staying relaxed and calm, not chasing after it, trying to spook it off. Just letting it do its thing until I can get a nice second shot in here. Easily one of my favourite fish that we get on the east coast of Australia. These guys are the black spot goatfish. We're going to start, as always, just with a usual fillet. Nothing too fancy or special. We're going to keep the skin on, even though these guys have been in the fridge for a few days dry aging with the scales on, which I'd usually take off. But what I'm thinking is that we'll pan fry the fillets with the skin on so we can get some of those beautiful crabby flavours out of that skin, out of those orange oils that you find under the skin. And then we will also make a quick stock or broth out of the old leftover bits. And then we'll reduce that kind of like a jus, as you would with beef or something like that. And then we'll put that and add it to our croquettes just to get the extra punch of that crabby flavour. These fish, they feed on crustaceans and whatnot, and they use these little barbels they got up the front to dig around and feel around in the sand just for any little worms, little crabs, things like that they can eat. And then that translates straight back into their meat. So you got one fillet there, just need to get the rib bones out and the pin bones there. And just flip him over. Lately I've been chucking down a little bit of paper towel on the board just under that bloodline in the middle so that we don't dirty the board. When we do our reduction, we're going to take this blood out because that is what will sort of bring that extra fishy kind of flavour, and we don't really want that. Just paper towel and we'll just rub that bloodline out, chop that up, fold it over, done. I do love making stocks out of these fish. Really see those crab flavours come out when you make the stocks, and you can just make use of all these little extra bits of the head and the wings and the spine and all that, which is always nice. You don't feel like you're wasting anything or just chucking things in the landfill. I'm just going to take that blood out again on those ribs, like that. And do the same for the ribs on this side. Slide the knife under, up, through, out where the pin bones go. Cut him off there. Clean up that blood on there. Just quickly pin bone it. Easy peasy. As you can see, fair few bones in there. You don't want to be eating them. No fun. But we're just going to take the fillets, pan fry them, and then take the skin off and then add that into our little stock as well with all these bits, because that skin has some tasty oils in it. Just a quick cook on this side. Beautiful. Lady. juicy. Oh well. Easy as that. Look at that, the skin just wants to come off. That is what we want. The smell of crab is potent off this right now. Let's get a little, zoomy zoom there. Made this. Look at that. Look at all of that. The orange there. Take the pot here. I'm just gonna take these skins off. Bang them in there. Oh my days, look at the color of that. Bit of meat. I love that. Goodness. Okay. So, oosh. All our scraps. I'll drop them in. Oh dear. Get some water over them. And we'll let that simmer down for a while. Yes, potato masher, but it's also a good fish masher. Look at the color of it. So we got our goatfish broth, the goatfish, if you will. Real saucy. So let's just let that strain, getting all of its goodies out. Okay, that's all strained. Look at that. It's bright orange. You don't see that with any other fish. I don't understand. Pure oil. And that's what we want. So we're going to reduce this even further in the pan so we can get a nice thick sauce to add to our croquettes to get that pure crabby vibe going on. Pure crabby vibes. I'm all about them. All about them vibes. Look at that. Alright, so that is seriously cooking down now. Thickening up. A little sauce going on my days. Let's just leave that to keep going. And we will start making this bechamel. We're going to go 50 grams of butter. Turn this down a little bit more in for luck. That'll do us. 50 grams of flour. A little too much. Turn that heat off on that sauce. A little too much again. 43. Not quite enough. My days. We'll get there. 46, 49, 52, 49, 53, 46, 47. That'll do. Whatever. Scales are shocking. Take some heat. Melt the butter. Now I was always doing 500 mils of milk after that, but we want them a little thick because we're going to be adding liquid, but also because we want to form them up into little dogs. We will freeze them as well just to help us get the shape. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's a sauce right there. Little butter and some pasta. Oh, that is thick. Holy hell. Let's make sure we're stirring this butter and flour mixture nicely so it doesn't get too lumpy. Let's get a whisk. Tons of whisking here, especially after we're going to add this milk in a sec. We don't want that burning to the bottom of the pan. So we got that roux forming. Keep the heat on it for a little bit. And we'll just turn the heat down. 250 ml of milk. Slowly add it in. And get it all combined. And let's add in another, say 100 ml of milk. Just keep it all moving so that milk doesn't burn on the pan. Starting to thicken up here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Not quite enough. Let's warm up sauce. Here we go. Super smooth, nice and thick, sort of holding its shape. Let's add in this the goatfish. You can see just how kind of thick that's turned out. completely turn that orange. Holy hecka. Let's give it a little bit more heat. See if we can thicken it up just a tad more. Oh my days. Oop, take one of these. Take our fish. Let's just mash that up. Let's combine the sauce and the fish. And that is our mix. Always taste what you're making. That is beautiful. But we're just gonna add a little bit of salt as well. Apologies, I totally cooked this right here and lost this footage somehow. But after this, you're gonna wanna cut the corner of this bag off and you can squirt your little dogs out of the end of that. Our little logs. Right, so this is a few days later and we got our dogs here ready for breading. So you're gonna wanna set up 3 containers here. One with flour, one with egg wash. Nothing fancy with the eggs here, just a good fork and whisking, if you get what I mean. And one with breadcrumbs. So we've got our oil set up, just that veggie oil, good for deep frying. We want it at about 175 degrees Celsius, is pretty good. And we're gonna dunk our little logs here into the flour. Make sure they're nice and covered. Into the egg, and then into the breadcrumbs. And just get those all done. And then you just drop it in the oil. Just leave them in there for a few minutes until they're nice and golden, and then we will scoop them out. Helps when you got a slotted spoon or even a spider, if you're feeling fancy, to get them out of that oil. I like to stick mine on a rack. You can stick it on some paper towel or something if you like as well. Let them rest for a minute and maybe give them a bit of salt or a little bit of seasoning. Now I was feeling a little fancy right here, so I got the old block of Parmesan out. The old Parmesan. We've got our little microplane grater here and we're gonna just shave a little off. Give them a nice little dusting. A little squirt of mayo on top and just hold it down, give it a little squeeze and then pull it off just before it overflows there. Get that nozzle nice and close to get those nice little round balls. And we're gonna go for a little bit of a sprinkle of aonori on top just to finish it all off. And there it is, crispy, creamy, saucy, Goatfish Croquettes. Big crabby vibes in these ones.